I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious, I want your heart, I want to eat his children. I was going to rip his heart out, I'm the best ever.
All right, we're back to talk about the biggest fight in Australian history. But before we do, I just want a quick
the Battle of Brisbane.
Quick point. 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, when you were in Las Vegas, right?
Right.
I told you, can you do me a favor? Can you check the odds on what it would be for Andre Ward to win by knockout? I'll send you some money. You can place a bet for me. And you never did, and you cost me thousands of dollars, possibly millions. I could be a rich man right now.
Yeah.
This podcast could be over. You could be doing this by yourself. I could be sitting on a beach right now, drinking a fruity drink. Come on, man.
You can still do that.
But the next day I would just have to go to work. I mean, come on, man. You really dropped the ball. I was thinking about that today. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, if you're smart, you would have put some money on Horn, huh? How about that? Right.
I don't even know where to start with this horrible horse shit of a fight. But this made me so mad. This made me. All right. I don't know. How do you want to talk about this? What angle do you want to? Where do you want to start? The fight?
You said horse shit.
This was horrible. What was this?
Okay. Scorecards. Do you agree with the decision?
Of course not. No one with a brain agrees with the decision.
Well, I don't. Au contraire. I mean, there's been many people on Twitter that come out and said
because that's the same shit. Okay. All right, go. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, let's start it. Let's frame it there then. So, okay, you don't agree with the decision, but do you believe it was a close fight?
No, I don't even think it was a close fight.
So on the scorecard realm, because when I heard 117-111. I was like, oh, okay, that's the Pacquiao score, right? That seems about.
That's what you
not
heard?
right.
That's what you thought. That's what you thought.
That's what
what I thought.
What?
You goddamn right. 117-111. Pacquiao kicked this man's ass.
Yeah, and then when I heard 113 2 times, I'm like, oh, okay, there were some close rounds. Horn won some early rounds.
Yeah, I thought
the
115-113 was like the gift. You fought a good fight. Here's your gift. You had a close fight with, one of the greatest fighters ever. Here you go. Here's your here's your Chuck Wapner, your Rocky Balboa story. Here you go. But I mean, let's just talk about the fight itself. Horn fought a great fight, as best as he could.
Effort.
This is what pissed me off too about the horrible decision. Because of the decision, now I look at the fight differently because it immediately made me angry. Because I was like, man, Horn, he fought a great fight. Much respect. I'll watch him again. Now I'm just angry, and I just can't wait to watch him get his ass kicked. It made me so angry.
Okay, so yeah, off the bat, Horn's motor, his effort was tremendous, and I'm really impressed that he was able to kind of recover and bounce back in the last quarter of the fight. Given that there are like reports that he had to drop like 7 pounds in like 2 or 3 days. And he also said he really struggled to make the weight.
Yeah.
And a lot of people reported he was very dry. So I do give him credit because it seemed like he really shrunk himself and struggled to get down to the weight. And then he was able to, like, his stamina or his motor, his effort was it was nonstop.
It was great. I mean, outside of the round where he was dead, which is round 10, which,
No, 9.
9, where I think Teddy Atlas had a 10-8. He was literally a dead man on his feet. I mean, a strong wind would have knocked him over. If that round would have lasted maybe 10 more seconds, he would have been knocked down. I don't know how he recovered from that, but he did, so all credit to him. But, the thing that really pissed me off about this fight is this is what happens. This is like a casuals. Because, all right. This is a big deal because it's on ESPN. It's a big fight. Also, too, the whole thing. Oh, we're bringing big fights back to free. Okay, calm down. First of all, ESPN isn't free. It's still on cable. Second, The biggest fights in the last 2 years have been on basic television, like CBS and NBC and Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So relax, people. What was the point I was going to... Oh, this is a casual fans type of scoring. This makes me so angry. Because, right, if you're a casual, right, you know a dumb casual, the kind of guys are going to drop down. Not $100, but they're going to pay for it twice, McGregor and Mayweather. There's like, oh, yeah, Jeff Horn won the fight. You know, look at Pacquiao. He was bleeding. Oh, but wait, he got headbutted twice. What the fuck? Two headbutts. Oh, yeah, but, you know, Horn was pressing the action. He was really roughing him up. Oh, but... You know, he only landed, 17% of his punches, and he got outlanded by over 100. Like, what are you talking about? This is a joke. This is a joke. It makes me so angry. Okay. And boxing really embarrassed itself yesterday. Great atmosphere, great fight. You end up with the spirit of boxing, Joe Horn, whatever the fuck his name is, personified it. And then just to get this decision is insane. Oh, my God. If I'm Pacquiao, honestly, Pacquiao is a very humble, gracious person. I just retire. What's the point? I mean, what's the point? Like, seriously. And it seems like, I mean, a screw job like this, too, when they do it to Pacquiao, it's like, oh, he's a nice guy. He'll take it. You know? Like how they did him against Bradley. Like, what the fuck, man? Oh, man.
Okay, so...
And then to hear Tim Bradley defending this garbage. Are you serious? Are you serious, Tim Bradley? Like, I mean, what's Eric's Twitter handle?
What?
Eric.
Who's Twitter handle?
Eric, our brother, Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, Mr. Wonderful, yeah.
He had the best comment, which is, you know, when Tim Bradley's in the building, you know somebody's about to get screwed. Because, I mean, to hear Tim Bradley defend this crap, and try to steer the conversation away from the fact that Horn was leading with his head. Well, of course, because, you know, Tim Bradley is, you know, I mean, that's what he does. And not even taking away from Tim Bradley, but come on. I mean, I know people are like, all right, I know people make fun of Teddy Atlas, right? Because he gets very animated. But yesterday when he's like taking his aggression out on the desk and the monitor, I felt the same way. I was like, this is justified.
Okay, so look, there's a lot of stuff that you just said right now that is going to be hard for me to just peel through, but I do want to go back to Jeff Horn, okay? Because what I did like was his approach to this fight. You know, most of the time when a younger fighter's in there with the veteran, they show him tons of respect, like almost too much to a point. Or even if it's an older guy, they'll fight at their pace, but Jeff Horn, he did the opposite of both. He showed Pacquiao no respect. I mean, hitting, he was holding and hitting, leading in with his head, just getting real roughhouse with Pacquiao.
Yep.
Getting real physical with him.
Hitting him after a Rafael break, sneaking in some punches, a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, he kept up the pace.
Yeah.
You know, now Pacquiao, a lot of people are saying that Pacquiao's, you know, fading stuff. I mean, Pacquiao, to me, conditioning-wise, I still thought he looked pretty good. But he kept up the pace, so he really made the old man work, you know. And this Pacquiao that's, you know, now 38 years old, he's coming off an 8 to 9 month layoff. And he has other duties, such as being a senator and trying to uplift his country. So I really like Horn's approach in that regards, where he just didn't show him any respect at all, and he just gave the best effort he could have given.
I give him credit for that, but even with all that, him making it a rough fight, him keeping up the pace, him doing all that, you know what happened after he did all those great things? Pacquiao matched them and did them better. Pacquiao got a little rough and dirty on the inside. Pacquiao landed some good body punches on some counter body punches. Pacquiao did all of these great things. You know, like, he matched him. It's like Pacquiao recognized, okay, this guy's not going to roll over. He's trying to, you know, cash his lottery ticket. So let me put a little extra on. Let me get real grimy with them. There's no way Horn won this fight. There's no way.
So, okay. So I want to talk about that point that you just brought up. I did think that one of the adjustments that Pacquiao made and that nobody, the broadcast didn't bring up, and
they
I don't
kept bringing
know
up that he
if I
wasn't
even saw
throwing body punches. Pacquiao threw some great body. He did some good body work in that fight. Like,
yeah, they were single shots, but they were very effective, and I think he kind of, because look, Horn, he lived up to his name, the Hornet, right?
Right.
You know, he was swarming, he was buzzing around. He wasn't really a stationary target, and it was hard for Pacquiao to time him with headshots. So what Pacquiao started to do was he started to counter him to the body when he could. You know, he didn't do it like throughout the whole fight, but there was pockets and moments of the fight where he was able to do that. So, yeah, I mean, Horn was just a tricky style for Pacquiao. But, okay, let's get into this.
Oh, my God.
Because I see this.
I'm going to say one positive thing about Horn, just to go off your point that you started with. He fought how you're supposed to fight, not when you're fighting an aging veteran or whatever the scenario is. He fought how you're supposed to fight when you are essentially handed a lottery ticket. When you fight Mayweather or Pacquiao or one of these type guys, and it's just basically
it was
trash fight.
Like effort.
Yeah, you're supposed to throw the kitchen sink at him. You know, try everything because something might work, and you might get what's the idiot judge's name? Scored a 117, 111. Hold on. This person needs to be mentioned by name because this was one of the worst scorecards in the history of boxing. Walden. Hold on. Waleska Rodlan. One of the worst scorecards in the history of boxing. 117, 111. All right, go on.
Okay. I've seen this thrown out there.
That judge only had Pacquiao win 3 rounds. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. I've seen this tweeted out.
Right.
Is Pacquiao washed up?
In the essence that he fought a guy that he was 15 years older than, right? How old is
No, I think it's about 10.
Okay,
10 years difference.
So he fought a guy 10 years younger than him.
Maybe 11.
He outworked him. He outlanded him. He was sharper than him. He was stronger than him. And he had more energy than him. And he sent the guy to the hospital. So, yeah, other than that, yeah, he's pretty washed up. I mean, come on, people. Seriously. Get out of here. That garbage.
Well, that's the thing. The people are arguing that this
Go
was a
ask
close
Timothy
fight.
Bradley and Jesse Vargas if Pacquiao is washed up. Please.
Well, no, maybe that version, but, you know, it's been what, 8 or 9 months since he fought Vargas.
I got a question to ask you because you're asking me some funny questions right now. Do you think Horn won the fight? These fucking questions. Do you think? Are you one of these people on the internet?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No. This was one of those fights where, I mean, let's be honest. Going into the fight, we thought Pacquiao would be. A lot of people were proclaiming knockout for Pacquiao, which I've always been like hesitant to, especially recently. Like, these guys are much bigger than Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so yeah. I think a lot of people are giving shit about Pacquiao. Oh, he hasn't scored a knockout since 2009, and all this garbage. But I mean, the guys he's fighting are just really good fighters. They're good fighters, right?
Yeah,
they got good chins and they're smart.
But here's the thing,
they know the risk of fighting Pacquiao. But let me just go on with the fact that no, I didn't think that Horn won the fight.
Horn won the fight.
I thought Horn was definitely very competitive in game, and he hustled some rounds in his favor. I'm not sure how many because I didn't take score because to me I didn't think this was a fight that you needed to take score of.
No, definitely not.
But obviously now.
Because when you're watching the fight, going in, you're like, oh, well, even if this guy doesn't get knocked out, right, Pacquiao's going to dominate this guy. And guess what happened? Pacquiao dominated this guy. This is not a fight you need a scorecard to know who won the damn fight. This was a joke.
Well, some people had Horn winning, and some people had it a draw.
I mean, you talked about people making the cases, right? Because if this is
okay,
what's wrong with the boxing
here's a point that I want to make.
All right.
Okay, look. So, look, Horn didn't have that great of expectations coming into this fight.
Right.
And I think part of I don't want to say that people aren't being objective or or if they're just being biased.
I know what point you're about to make. Go on.
But what Horn did was he exceeded expectations.
Yeah, and when
you exceed expectations, you might have, it's kind of human nature to give maybe more credit than what he deserved. And maybe that's what the judges were doing. And maybe that's what some of these fans were doing.
I agree. I agree, right? But you give that credit and you say, here, you know what? I'm coming out of the liquor store. I just bought calm down. I just bought some chips in the bag of soda here, man. I got about 15 cents left over here. You got a couple rounds off Pacquiao. Congratulations. Tell your grandkids about it. You did not win a goddamn fight against Manny the Pacquiao. I'm sorry. The Filipino tsunami, you did not beat him. This was a joke, man. And then the boxing internet that you talk about how, there's a case. Those are the same people who if you watch it carefully, I really had Pacquiao beating Floyd, 8-4. Those are those people. This is not the Zapruder film. We're not talking about was there a second shooter, of JFK. This is, you watch a goddamn fight. One guy got his ass kicked and went to the hospital. The other guy was happy and shaking hands afterwards. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Man.
And to this theory of people who did score the fight, because I don't want to just trash people, because people see fights differently.
I will.
And I don't want
this for Joe Horn.
I don't want to be
Jeff
little
Horn,
people.
Little Big Horn, anybody named Horn, you are trash.
See, now you're.
Now
I forgot the point I was gonna make. God damn it.
This is just infuriating because this is like, Waleska Rodlan, Chris Flores, and Ramon Cerdan. They should never be. They should at least at minimum. I'm not even lying. Maybe 5 to 10 year ban from the sport of boxing. And I'm not talking about judging. I'm talking about watching. I'm talking about saying the word boxing. This is a joke.
Is this worse than Paul Williams over Lara?
You know why this is? This is another point. Dan Riffio brought this up that this wasn't worse in Pacquiao Bradley, and his point was, and this kind of ties into Lara and Williams. Their points were that the kind of theme is that those are bigger fights, so on a bigger scale was much more importance. Even though this was for the fucking WBO title,
right?
Like, it's just worse to get it wrong on that kind of important stage. This was kind of like basically a tune-up fight, kind of, right? I would say that makes it worse for the opposite reason, because like when Pacquiao got screwed against Bradley, right? If we're talking our like dirty, corrupt boxing thing, you can be like, well, Bradley's has accomplished a lot in the sport. He's trying to they're trying to build him up. He's already been a world champion, et cetera, right? It makes sense why they would screw him to get him a W over Pacquiao. Same with Paul Williams and Lara. Like, Paul Williams was, not up and established fighter. He had
Lara wasn't unknown.
Yeah, he has some name, but this is different. This is not like we're trying to elevate. This is like, why the fuck did this happen? Like, who? That's so.
Okay.
I'm thinking like, all right, there's no way Bob Arum has his dirty hands on this, right?
Right.
But this does play into Bob Arum's hands perfectly. I'll tell you why. The rematch be a hot ticket, right? Get her back on ESPN. Right. He can probably get it in the Philippines, which will kind of, get Pacquiao a little jazzed to actually take the rematch. Because right now, if I'm Pacquiao, I'm like, I'm done with boxing. Fuck boxing. Because this is a joke. Or, let's say that doesn't work out, right?
Right.
Now, even though Horn isn't signed to Top Rank Promotions, he just did the biggest fight with Top Rank, so he's
There's an option for him.
Yeah, I mean he has an in with them, right? So now he can take this, and what has he been trying to do for basically 2 years?
Make Terrence Crawford a star?
Make Terrence Crawford a welterweight star, move him up. What better way than to have him get in there with Horn and grab?
Will he go to Australia?
Let me tell you something. Terrence Crawford would beat Horn on the fucking moon, right? Without any oxygen. There's no place that Horn would beat Crawford. So basically Arum has two options. He's going to play this to his advantage.
Okay. So now a lot of people were saying, it's not a robbery if it's a close fight, right? Because, in that realm, some people thought it was a close fight. You can respect that or you could not respect that.
Okay.
I kind of know how you feel about it.
I choose option B.
After talking,
Yeah.
after talking to you for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But it is a robbery in the sense that we see like fucking low-level fights where they have prospects. And
Just
they have like prospects
decisions.
or mid-tier stars who get like 120 to 108 scorecards in fucking razor-thin fights.
Yeah.
So, to me, you know, for a guy like Manny Pacquiao, you know, one of the faces of boxing, the flag bearer of boxing, the guy that's, I mean, this was his first fight off of pay-per-view in 22 fights. Okay, so he has been what at least 50% of boxing's economy, right? If you want to split it up with Floyd.
Yeah.
So, to me, the robbery is in the sense that you're giving the benefit of the doubt in all the close rounds to a relative unknown as opposed to, you know, a legend.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's right or wrong to think like that, but in the sense of that, I feel like it is a robbery because you're giving Danny Garcia wins over Mauricio Herrera, which he did not earn, and, you know, shaky decisions over Lamont Peterson, which you could argue that he lost. And, I mean, this is just not to single out Danny Garcia, but all of boxing, where we get all these shady-ass decisions for these guys that probably don't even deserve them.
See, now you're getting mad. That's right.
38-year-old man from the Philippines.
This is a joke, man. This is so bad. Like, seriously, man. And Pacquiao had to, like, be nice, right? Be respectful, be gracious, give an interview in the ring, and then stand there next to this bum who he just mopped the floor with and sent to the hospital, and give an interview with him, Teddy Atlas, and Tim Bradley, and Tessitore. I mean, come on, man.
Now, I will say, though, Horn did land some. I don't know if he rocked Pacquiao.
No, he did rock him one time. And that one time where he rocked him, well, no, he landed a lot of times. He landed some real good big shots to kind of like woke Pacquiao up. And you saw Pacquiao smile and was like, all right, bring it. Like he does, you know, the classic Pacquiao.
He invited him on.
Yeah. There was one time where he legitimately rocked Pacquiao, and Pacquiao was like, okay, all right, I got to like be a little bit more careful going in there. But we're talking about moments in the course of a 12-round fight, which this guy lost. Whatever.
Okay. Now, I do, because this is, you know, it's coming to an end here soon. And I just want to highlight the point and give credit because the 9th round was epic. It was, I know it's against Jeff Horn, but 9th round was special stuff. Just seeing Pacquiao at 38 years old, you know, halfway through a tough fight with 2 cuts on his head, bleeding all over the place. And he's fucking hunting down this young guy.
Destroying this man.
Fucking
all right.
Swinging away.
Let's go back to
badly. Going for broke. I mean, he doesn't have to do this shit anymore. So
let's go back to
in that 9th round, I do want to say like I really appreciate that moment.
Let's go back to Waleska Roldan, right? The judge who scored at 117 for Mr. Horn over Pacquiao. He only gave Pacquiao 3 rounds, right?
Right.
After the 9th round, the ref went over to Horn's corner and told him, I will stop this fight if you don't show me something in the start of the next round, right? Which means you only get to that point after enduring a fight-long ass kicking, right? To be worn down and be done. So, to that judge, essentially that didn't happen. That 9th round, even if he gave it to Pacquiao, he didn't think that it was that bad.
Okay, also, too, now, Horn was very active, and I think he did outthrow Pacquiao by like maybe 100 or so punches, right?
Yes.
And so it was good. He was more active. Pacquiao was clearly more accurate. Now, there are instances where you will take volume over, you know, modest offense, right? Where a guy's accurate, but he's just not working enough.
Yes.
But in this case, when I break down the scoring and you factor that in, you gotta factor in who's landing the more effective blows and which blows are doing more damage. And I mean, if you just look after the fight, you got that picture I sent you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, come on, man.
I mean, Pacquiao was relatively clean, other than the cuts that were in his head, and Horn is really bruised up and nicked up, and that picture did look like he was in the hospital. So
come on, man.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I need to go back and rewatch the fight and score it again.
No,
but see, I don't feel like I did, because I think I got the feel of the fight.
This is where boxing.
Horn worked hard, but Pacquiao landed the more effective, and he landed the cleaner blows.
This is where boxing gets you, right? Like, for instance, Kovalev Ward, very controversial fight, right?
First fight.
Both fights. Actually, both fights, the way it turned out. But the first fight, the scoring, right? Very controversial.
Right.
Would you say, and throwing out the crazy people and the hardcore Kovalev fans, right? Mm-hmm. There's nobody who said that fucking Kovalev won that fight 10 rounds to 2. Like, that's not a strong majority.
No,
there are people who are saying, oh, it was 8-4 or 7-5, and there was a few rounds, basically a handful of rounds determine a fight, right?
Is that not what this fight was?
No, it was not. See, I guess that's why I'm a lot more angrier than you are, because I felt it was a close fight. It came off like a close fight because you expected Horn to just fall over and get destroyed. So when he doesn't, you start giving him credit for actually still being there. But if you're actually just watching this, because honestly, after the first round, in that first minute, I was like, okay, Horn's actually here to try to do something. I was like, oh shit. So I kind of shifted the way I was viewing the fight, as opposed to just whatever, this will be over soon, to like, okay, I'm gonna actually watch this fight as a boxing fan. I put my boxing hat on, and I was like, I'm gonna actually watch this fight. And, so I started picking up on adjustments Manny's making, because Manny was never really able to catch his timing, so he had to do some other things to do his damage. We talked about, he was peppering in the jabs in the middle round.
And continually a guy that's been outsized and length. He always has to find a way.
Another thing Manny was doing that I don't think people realize, but Manny was kind of inviting him in on the ropes sometimes and in exchanges, just because he couldn't get the timing. So he's like, I'll do my damage this way. And he was doing all these things, and I was like, okay, good job, Horn. You showed yourself well. You'll be on somebody's undercard in 6 months. But this was like 9 rounds, if I'm being generous, I gave Horn like 4 rounds. Come on, man.
Okay. Now, Terrence Crawford, after the fight, tweeted that they wouldn't let me fight him, but they let him go over there and lose, SMH. How do you feel about that? Because to me, it feels like Crawford is falling over himself to fight Pacquiao, which he believes it would be an easy fight for him. And he's upset now that Pacquiao got that L that he could have put on Manny Pacquiao's resume.
I mean, if you're thinking from Crawford's perspective, I mean, yeah, he's right. I mean, Top Rank has been basically, for some fucking reason, keeping Pacquiao. Because if you ask Pacquiao will fight anybody, right? He doesn't care.
Right.
But Top Rank is, strategically, whatever math they've done, they're keeping Pacquiao away from Terrence Crawford, and they're trying to, give him these showcase World Tour fights, and look what happens. I'm not mad at him. Right.
So now, okay. So is Pacquiao, he's no longer on the elite level then, right? You would say, you would favor Keith Thurman,
because I would,
Danny Garcia, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford.
Hold on. What did you just say?
Because that's what people are saying.
All right. Let's just go through the guys you just said, and I'll give you a yes or no.
Danny Garcia.
Pacquiao's way better than Danny Garcia. Any given day between now and a year from now, Pacquiao.
Well, what in a fight you would pick him?
Yes, in a boxing fight. No, in making sushi and making pasta for dinner. No, yes, in a boxing fight. What's wrong with you?
Earl Spence.
No, I mean I don't think anybody. I told you how I feel about Earl Spence. Nobody wants him. Okay. Nobody will beat him. People just stay out of his way.
Terrence Crawford.
Toss up.
Keith Thurman.
Toss up.
Sean Porter.
I would say toss up.
Okay. So you would still consider Manny Pacquiao an elite, welterweight, but maybe on the pound for pound scale. Or does it even matter? It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't fucking matter.
What else does he have to prove?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Would a rematch? How would the rematch play out? Would it be different? I mean, will we see the same fight? Because Horn's bringing it.
It will be the same fight. We'll just have 3 competent judges who will score it correctly. That's it.
All right, what did you think of Stephen A. Smith?
Stephen A. Smith made me change the channel because there's a lot of filler time because people who don't watch boxing, like big fights, don't know. But you
didn't see when he read off Jeff Horn's resume. Did you see that?
I did not see that. But I did like Stephen A. Smith trying to punk Tim Bradley into talking about the headbutts, and Tim Bradley not going for it.
That reminds me, Tim Bradley. At the end of the fight, he was like, "Yeah, we're in Argentina."
Yeah, and then apparently we're in Argentina. I mean, all right, we could go on and on, but I don't know. I guess a positive, something exciting happened in boxing in the month of July, and gave us something to talk about. So, thanks to everybody for listening. What else you got?
Thanks to everybody for listening, and appreciate your legends, man. Because Pacquiao's on the way out. And I thought he gave a great effort last night.
That goes for you too.
Even if he wasn't at his best.
That goes for you too, Tim Bradley. Appreciate the legend. All right.
Appreciate the legend, goddammit. All right.
Later.
See ya.